I don't want to make any more videos about this stupid barn pad. I just want it to be done. Tore the track. Alright, welcome to the never-ending barn pad saga. Although, it has to end because, I don't know, 8 days from now, the barn's getting built. So, somehow this thing's gonna have to be done. And pretty much usual story around here. Everything's broken. So the medium-sized excavator is actually at the shop. It's fixed, but they haven't been able to drop it off yet. It had some electrical problems and wouldn't work last weekend, and I had to have them haul it off and fix it. So that'll be back, but obviously I can't use that right now. When I stopped using the big excavator last weekend, it was running great. Actually, I don't think it ever run that good before. It was just running super strong and consistent. And then Debbie came, and I don't know how much rain we got, but just crazy amount of rain for days and days and days on end. And there's standing water everywhere here. And I can get it to start, it'll run for a little bit, but I can't get it to run for very long. We had gotten to the point where we just couldn't dig dirt down there anymore. It's not that we couldn't dig the dirt, we couldn't get the dirt up here because it was so muddy and wet. The dump truck just would get stuck. The regular truck got stuck. That's not even fixed yet. They couldn't even put a new windshield in it because it rained too much. So we are down to just the skid steer. The tractors really wouldn't be any help. And that skid steer, I guess, is the piece of equipment that's built this farm so far. We really would be out of luck without that thing. So I'm kind of babying it today, and the new plan, or the only plan we have left, is we're actually, you can't see it because it's behind those trees, but there's a ridge in this field right here behind the house. And we're digging out that ridge. It's nice red clay, you can see here over my shoulder. That's some of the clay that's come out of there. And we're just digging it out, moving it from there to over here, because that's all we had time left to do. I wanted to get the big X up here because it would just take a couple hours to dig it out, transfer it over to a pile, move, and then transfer that pile here and spread. Probably half a day could have got it done, but instead, digging it out 1 yard bucket at a time with the skid steer, bringing it over here. And you know, we have some mud. Didn't get this rolled in before the storm showed up last time, and it's really soupy wet. So I'm hoping that's gonna dry out. I don't think driving back and forth through it's probably helping any. Maybe it is, I have no idea, but right now it's in the way. I don't want to scrape it off. This over here, this stuff over here I actually did scrape off because it was just straight soup. It wasn't that much, I just scraped it off. And I'm filling it back in with the red clay. I don't know. I'm gonna work here for another 3 or 4 hours. It's Saturday, it's almost 2:30. It's very, very hot and very humid. I don't want to make any more videos about this stupid barn pad. I just want it to be done. So I'm gonna keep going. Got all day tomorrow to do it as well. There's a few things that we have to do besides that, but and I know you guys haven't been seeing Liz and you haven't seen the baby. Maybe tomorrow. It's just, you know, a baby, and she's got her hands full, and she's doing a lot of work behind. You guys don't see everything that she does. She might be not out here, you know, in front of the camera, but she's running all the social media, editing all the videos, getting them all up, doing all that work, plus raising our baby. And you know, we're doing a few other things on the side. She's running all that too. So plus, well, she's on maternity leave, but I have a day job. She has a day job. She'll be going back to that. So it's a lot. We're doing our best we can here. It's gonna be a huge relief when this barn is built, because really we can go back to working on a slower timeline, which is our timeline, instead of having to work towards someone else's timeline. That's put a lot of pressure on us. The number of equipment breakdowns has just been crazy. We can't afford brand new equipment. But that's just how it goes, I guess. So I'm gonna get back at it. This is probably gonna be a short video. I'm not gonna, show you me driving back and forth with buckets of dirt. But I'll show you progress as we go along. And I'm definitely gonna roll it in before I leave, because even though we just had Debbie roll through and drop a foot of rain, I guess there's a chance for thunderstorms today and tomorrow, this afternoon. And that's the last thing I need, is all this work to be wasted. So I'm gonna get back at it and we'll see where I get. All right, I think it's been like an hour since the last time I spoke to you, and I don't know how many buckets of dirt I've moved. A lot. It's very monotonous and really beats up the body. So anyone that says they love to run a skid steer all day long has probably never done it. So it really, there's no suspension in a skid steer. Takes its toll for sure. So this is what it looks like right now. I've tracked everything in. Some of this corner over here is hard as a rock, and then the further part is just putting with a crust over it. So I'm gonna try to leave it alone and hope it dries out. That way, I really don't want to scrape that off. It's a lot of dirt. I don't know where I'm at, really. I think right through here is low. So from this part here, we're up to where the skid steer is, over, and then here. So basically we're in between this corner I did last weekend and where all the new dirt is. I think that's still low. At some point I'm going to take the laser out and figure that out, but not right now. It's hot. I'm tired, but it's 3:30 and I got to keep going. So that's all there is to it. Got to get it done. Check back in with you in a little bit. All right, it's the end of the day, and I never can tell what you can see on the camera. Generally, it all looks perfectly flat, so that's not very helpful, but I'm wrecked. You can probably tell that from the camera. I don't want to do skid steering anymore, but unfortunately tomorrow I'm gonna have to do some more. But let me turn the camera around and I'll show you kind of where we're at. I think we're in pretty good shape. Okay, so we're pretty flat all the way across. It does dip down right through here, and it runs off just a little bit in this corner. But I think based on this corner, I haven't run with the laser yet, we look good all the way across here and about halfway. I think we're about a foot low in the corner, down the edge and down through the middle. So that's where we're at. I don't know, I think I maybe moved 75 yards of dirt. Probably got just as much to move tomorrow. I'll have to scrape off some more grass and topsoil to make a new spot. Wasn't running out of the ridge, but it was getting a little more difficult, so see you tomorrow. All right, it's Sunday. It's Sunday evening, actually. I've been working out here for many hours and did a few things, but I just went around with the laser transit and got an idea of where we're at. So give you a bit of the lay of the land here. Let me turn the camera around. So that's our high corner, always has been our high corner. We came up a foot to keep water out of the platform here, or out of the pad. And if we go to that corner, we're low about 3 inches. In the middle here, we're low about 4 inches. In the middle of the back, we're down about 6 inches, and we're low about 10 inches, and then all the way down to this front corner that I'm standing in. So not bad. I got about 30 minutes. I'm gonna throw a little more dirt on here. I do have a plan. I always have a plan, just how far down the alphabet we're gonna go on the plans. But I'm gonna get the mid-size excavator back this week, next Monday. So a week from tomorrow is when the builder's showing up to build this thing. And that gives me next weekend to finish this off. And there's not a lot left to do, and it's a little, only because I'm not, I don't run equipment all day, every day. It's not my job. So I need to try to make it as easy on myself as possible to make this flat, so it doesn't, it's not just on grade, but it doesn't also look like, a rough ocean. So that mid-size excavator has a bulldozer blade on the front of it. And then what I can do is just drop the dirt in piles and then push it off nice and even to flatten out this pad, and then the pad will be looking good, and then I can roll it in. I did track everything in. Everything's tracked in, so if it does rain, and this is that good red dirt clay, it's not going to absorb any water. One of the things I did dig out that entire front corner. One of the reasons why I didn't get as much done as you might expect. It was just too soupy, goopy, and it's good clay, but when it's wet like that, it takes forever for it to dry out, and I just didn't have that kind of time. So it just made more sense to scoop it up. And what I did is I dropped it all along the edge here and on that back corner on the edge. Just kind of wasted it over there. I'll use that to slope off the pad, and it'll dry out. And I'm sure it'll be dry by next weekend. And then I can grade it out and roll it in, and it'll be fine. That same clay is what's underneath all this red dirt clay, and it's hard as concrete. So not concerned about it, just I was concerned about it being that corner. That corner kind of was like a bit of a hole too, so it was really holding water, and that stuff didn't get rolled. It didn't get tractor rolled, and so, I don't know, 12, 14 inches of rain, and it just turned into, well, it was pudding. It was really, pudding is the best I can say about the consistency. It's dried out a lot, even since yesterday, but it was still, you couldn't track it in because it would just ooze out the sides. And I just don't have time to wait for it to get around, and it was easier just to scoop out that one corner. It was about a dump truck load worth, and then replace it with the red dirt clay. So this, I think I promised this was going to be a short video, so there isn't a lot of minutes here, and I know you guys are probably sick of watching me or listening to me talk about dirt, and I'm sure you would like to see Liz, because Liz and the baby instead of my face. That'll happen soon. I promise. But we are very short time away from getting the barn built. Thank goodness. What a journey to get here, and what a crazy amount of work. I'm very naive with these projects, but I guess that's how you learn. I don't know, by being naive. But better to be naive on your own stuff than naive on someone else's stuff. But I feel really good about that. That's really not that much dirt. 10 inches along here, that's like essentially one scoop of dirt. It's maybe 10-12 scoops of dirt along this edge, and then maybe another 20, let's say 35 scoops of dirt, and this whole thing is going to be on grade. Finally, that's going to be exciting. So like I said, I got like 30 minutes. I do have one other thing I gotta do before I wrap up for the day besides move dirt. So maybe 20 minutes of moving dirt. So I could probably move 7 or 8 scoops of dirt in those 20 minutes, and that'll be good. Call it a day. But that's it for this video. The next video will be me finishing off the pad. I'm sorry. But that's just what it's going to be. And then we're going to get into barn build videos. And then finally, once the barn is built, we'll be able to move on to other things. And I think those barn build videos, I'll convince Liz to come back and she can MC those videos instead of me. Well, life's an adventure. Let's keep it that way. Okay, here's a fun little epilogue. I decided I was gonna do 30 more minutes. I wanted to get this up to grade, which I did. And just as I was finishing, tore the track on the skid steer. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. That's a real thing that just happened. That's okay. That's okay. We'll make it work. The medium size excavator will be back, and we'll wrap it up with that. That's oh, I have one thing I need to do with this. I could do that with the tractor. Yeah, I guess I'll have to do that with the tractor. It's literally on the verge of just snapping. And well, I want to make sure it's someplace out of the way, which it is right now. I don't need it to break in the middle of the pad. That would. Anyway, I thought that's a fun little postscript to this video. See you next time.